Hello YouTube, the Gun Nut here. It's another great day to be an American. Let freedom reign. So today I'm doing a video on a new priming tool I just picked up. This is the RCBS automatic priming tool. I have been using the Lee hand priming tool for years. It came with a kit that I bought, so I thought I'd try out something different. So I picked up this RCBS automatic priming tool. It comes with large and small primer tubes and the seat plug assemblies. But it does require shell holders and are not included, and I don't have any RCBS shell holders. So I had to order some up. There's a safety information in the box. Just different seating plugs, which I'll find out more about them here as we put it together and get ready to prime our first cases. The instruction manual, although it's really not very good instructions. In fact, it really doesn't tell you anything hardly about putting together or using it, so I might have to do a little searching here on YouTube. So this basic main assembly. So the priming tubes have this clip, and I'm guessing that must be to retain the primers or something. And then this plastic end. So I don't know anything about this yet. We're going to learn here as we go and see how it works out. I have some Starline 38 special brass all ready to prime. So we'll be priming this brass as we check out this priming tool. We got 50 cases to prime. So that should be a good initial indication of whether I'm going to like this thing. In addition to the priming tool, as I mentioned, I had to pick up some shell holders. So I picked up 3 shell holders that would cover a lot of my needs. Number 3, which you can see covers a lot of different cartridges, including the 6.5 Creedmoor. Number 10, which covers a lot of cartridges also, including 223. And number 6, which primarily is going to cover the 357 Meg 38 Special and a couple other cartridges there, which I doubt I'll ever need. In addition to that, I also picked up this set of 2 primer trays. And this will allow me to dump the primers here, shake it, and get them the correct side up, and then I can pick them up with the tube. So the first thing I've come across here, as I got these parts out, was I got to assemble these, what do they call them? Primer rod assemblies. So the parts are all loose. They don't really give you much in the way of description on how to do it. You have to drop this part down into there, into that cup, put the spring in, and then this is threaded, and thread this together. And then they suggest using a paper clip to basically finish the installation. So you pull this down, stick the paper clip in, and then you can finish using that as a way to torque it. And so I've already done the large one, and that was a small one. And they do give you a place to hold it for the one that you're not using. So I went ahead and I mounted this to a board so I could clamp it to my bench. And I've done just enough to see that I think I know how to use it. I've primed a whole 6 cases. So let's go through and I'll show you how this thing works. So the first thing you do is put in your shell holder. In this case I'm using a 357 Magnum. It's a number 6. You pop that in here. It has a retaining clip that holds it in tight. Then you select either small or large rifle, the plunger thing here, and you just drop it in. Next thing you do is you got to get some primers in the tube. So I'm going to go ahead and put 20 in this tray. And in this case, I actually need them all to be cupped down because of the way you pick them up. So if I take the cover off, all but 2 are now cupped down. So that's what you do. If you need cupped down, you get them all rotated, and then put the cover on, then flip it over, and then there you go. So I'm going to do these last couple by hand. And then what you do, I've already done this, so you got to put this cotter pin back in, is this retains the primers as you're picking them up. As you go and pick them up, which you basically just, I don't know if this will come through on camera, you basically just push down on it, and that plastic tip kind of holds on to it. But you just go around here and you get square, perpendicular to the primer. You get the anvil side down. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Still not as easy as just dumping them in the Lee tool, but it works. So let's just go ahead and get the rest of these done. Okay, after we're done picking them up, we are simply going to flip the tube over, and then this gets inserted into this part here, and we simply pull the cotter pin and the primers fall down, and now they're the correct side up. we'll take an empty case, but the first thing you do is you push down on a handle, and it's going to slide a primer right there. So there's a primer in there now. Then you're going to push the handle up, slide the case in, and then push down on the handle, and then that seats the primer. You can see there we got a primer that's seated. We'll do a couple more here. Again, the motion is down, sets that primer on that little cup. Set the case in, push down, and then pull up, and you got a seated primer. So the thing that gets me is that I always want to lift up after I do that, but you actually got to push down. That drops the primer in, seat the primer, and then you keep going. So we're going to go ahead and work through this brass here. So again, oh, interesting failure there. It kind of fell down, and then the primer flipped, and I had to adjust it. So just keep your eyes on what you're doing, as always, when reloading. Now I seem to be getting them a little bit more underflush, which I like them a little bit more underflush. There's a little lip on this thing. Actually, let's just pull it out. So it seems like that is catching right there. Once in a while, it'll hang up and it doesn't come down, but it's pretty straightforward. That time worked fine. Primer seated flush to underflush. Well, overall, guys, I'd have to say after using this RCBS automatic priming tool to prime my first 50 cases, it's a nifty tool. And there's two caveats, though. One is this issue I showed you, how this can sometimes catch. You'll just have to watch that. And once in a while, a primer won't come in completely square. Again, just keep your eyes on it. You might have to straighten out one or two. And the other thing is when you use this primer pickup tube, two of the primers seem to stick and stay there. So you will have to find a way to get those to dislodge so you can empty your tube. I can show you what I did. I don't know if it's recommended, but it seemed to fit pretty well, as I used a 30-06 round with just an exposed soft point, and I was able to push those down, and it worked for me to get those dislodged so I could get all the primers into the tube. But once you get used to the motion, it seems to go really quick. I had to work on the feel a little bit to make sure I get a consistent depth. My depths were kind of wandering around between flush to the extreme case of 10,000th underflush, with most of them between 2 thou underflush to say 5 or 6 underflush. So as far as cost, I think this thing runs around, I don't know, I think I picked it up for about $85. And you got to get shell holders depending on what you're using it for. I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. You guys be safe out there.